Hello again, my name is T and welcome to my party. So I did some recording last night and I've come to realize that during my whole recording session that my mic wasn't on. So I meticulously went back, found where we were, and I'm going to re-record it because I feel like that'll just give it more of that feeling than trying to voice over what I had or just putting in text. And if I'm gonna do something, I feel like I need to do it the right way rather than just, skirting by just to pad what I have. But I'm gonna go through again and walk through what happened. I forgot some of the details of what happened, but I know vaguely what happened, and I'm going to try to do the dialogue the same as I did yesterday. I might miss some things, which is sad because I felt really comfortable yesterday. You know, after doing these videos for a few days now, it's hard to get that comfortable feeling of just talking into the void. But enough about that. We just left off where I said, hey, I should go help get my bike. And they're like, no, you're just a kid. Don't do that. The men here are serious. And then I was like, okay, fine. So that's where we're at and where I will pick up. So let's go. A visitor should behave like one. Doing anything more would be uncalled for. It was an old-fashioned way of thinking, but this was an old-fashioned kind of place for sure.
じゃあ、どこで待とうか。
Where do we wait then?
家に戻って待ちましょう。
At my place. Expected as much, but it still made me curious. Normally, you'd expect we'd sit around and drink some tea right here, so why didn't we? As we waited, Chiemi, casually but uncomfortably, told me a few things. First, I found out that the people here in Yasumizu were a bit on edge right now. The reason for that was the fact that, excluding me, they had 3 whole outsiders here. I'd assumed this myself from what I knew so far, but apparently yesterday morning, a little girl was found straying around the Saranaga Rapids. They couldn't even find out her name, let alone who her parents were, so they don't know how to handle her. For now, one of the inhabitants was looking after her. I've been told the more superstitious inhabitants, Tay-san mostly, saw her as a bad omen. I suggested leaving her to the police, but Chiemi didn't seem like it was a good idea. It barely made sense to me, but if I were to believe her, things around here were such that not even the cops could do anything. And apparently the remaining 2 outsiders were a pair of journalists gathering for a magazine article. Unlike the little girl and they came here via the normal route, though, through Kamifujiyoshi, and therefore weren't considered a bad omen or whatever. Still, even more normal outsiders put these people here on edge. Though, through this talk I also got some details about the area itself. Yasumizu was a little settlement part of an autonomous region called the Fujiyoshi village, or simply Fujiyoshi. It'd also been on a map I'd shown at the store. Fujiyoshi was split by 2 areas, Yasumizu and Kamifujiyoshi. They were separated by a mountain. Going to Kamifujiyoshi took about an hour by foot or 20 minutes by car on the winding but paved road. Side note, the school students went on to Kamifujiyoshi. These 2 settlements had ties so strong, they shared customs and culture. Chiemi said the local seasonal events were quite unconventional. I'd asked her to elaborate, but all she could say was that Yasumizu had special meaning to Fujiyoshi. She was making me more suspicious than I wanted to be. This conversation wasn't nearly as exciting as the one we had last night. Well, at least I found out she didn't have a boyfriend right now. Very intriguing. Alright. It was nearly noon when Takumi-san came back, ending my waiting game. Side note, the door was fully open the entire time as we waited. It was probably Chiemi's way of saying that nothing bad was happening here.
バイクってのはおめえもんだな。
Man, bikes sure are heavy, huh?
去年取ったし
It's
仕
as
事
heavy
じゃ
as
ね
the
え
boy I call last year.
I really didn't expect them to just carry it here. Like, sure there were two of them, but just how much mass did you have to haul a 200-kilogram piece of metal so easily? The unpaved road and the river made my sweet ride so damn muddy.
どうやってあの崖を上げたんです？
How did you bring it up the cliff?
滑車があんだよ。
There's a
たまに
pulley.
下
We
から
bring
物を
stuff
引
up
き上
from
げ
the
なきゃ
bottom
なん
every
ね
now and then.
おい、匠。
Takumi.
と
Oh,
余
yeah,
計なこ
now's
と言
not
って
the
る
time
場合
for
じゃ
that.
ね
Hey, you think this
え。
thing
こ
is
れ
alright?
大丈夫なの
It
か？
looks pretty
だいぶ
damn
水に浸か
wet.
っちまったみてえだけど。
どうかな。見てみ
I'm
ま
not
す。
sure. I'll check.
じゃああとは任
I'll
す
leave
ぜ。
the rest to you then, old
おやさん、
man. This took
結構
longer
かかっ
than
ち
I
まった
thought
が
it would.
研ぎ直しは明
If
日ま
not,
で
if
待
I
って
do
もら
the
えるか。
shopping tomorrow. I saw them off with a loud thank you. Now then,
手伝おっか？
need help?
とりあえず
I'll see
一
what
人
I
で
can
な
do
んと
by
かなるか
myself
やってみる
first.
よ。
The worst part of the repairs were right at the beginning. I wanted to stop by washing it, but that old lady, Yamamaki was her full name, got really mad at me. She didn't want any Saranaga mud on the ground here because it was corrupt or something. But this plaza was the only place with easy access to a water supply tap, so I did my best to convince her and let me wash it as close as the edge as possible. Once it was clean, I could start checking out what was wrong with it. Sorry, just 1 second. Actually, it looked pretty good. Bent in places, sure, but the wash got rid of the bad sound the wheels made. The only problem was that the tires were flat. And it was a pretty big one.
道具とか持って
You
きて
didn't
ない
bring
の？
tools?
うん。
No.
普通
Aren't you
バイク旅
supposed
行
to
とかっ
whenever
て
you go
持
on
っ
a
てくる
bike
もんじ
trip?
ゃないの？
いざとなればロード
I
サー
just
ビ
thought
ス
I
呼べ
could
ば
call
いいか
road
な。
service and they'd do
的
all
な
the
ノリだった
work.
んで。
不準備。
So unprepared.
いや
I have no
返す言
excuse.
葉もない。
Honestly, I was having a moment
正
when I
直
went
や
out.
けくそで出
Didn't
発
think
したから
things through.
冷静でもなかったのかも。
お？
Oh,
事情を
can
聞
I
いて
ask
ほし
what
そう。
happened?
彼女に振られた
My
んだよ。
girlfriend left me?
なんか嘘っぽ
That
い
seems
な。
like a lie. It wasn't.
それはともかく
In any case,
Hmm.
somewhere to get
タンク
tools
修理
to
道
fix a
具
flat
か。
tire.
野里屋敷ならあるかもしれないな。
野里屋敷
The Sato Mansion?
うん。
Yep.
安
It's
水
the
で
biggest place
一
in
番大きなお
Yamizu
家。
If you
野
can't
里屋敷
find
にない
something
も
there,
の
you
は
won't find
安
something
水には
anywhere
ない
else
よ
in。the village.
なるほど。
I see.
じゃあ
Let's
そこの
give
人
it
に
a
お願
shot.
いしに行こう。
うーん。
I don't really recommend meeting
実
the
はあ
guy.
んまり
But
会
I
うのは
can't
おす
think
す
of
めで
any
きないん
other
だけど
ideas.
背に腹は変えられないか。
また偉い人が登場。
Someone important again?
うん。
Yeah, and he's
その上
kind
ち
of
ょっ
messed
と
up to
人
boot.
格的にね。
And so we walked up the hill and arrived at this so-called Nasato Mansion. No Sato Mansion. From what I could tell, it was located at the highest point in the settlement. And, like Chiemi said, it was definitely a hell of a building. It had an elegant Western design, which would probably look even better if the place were better maintained. The yard was overgrown, and the building itself was pretty much fair. Okay, sorry about that. I had to get up and let my dog out, and I accidentally skipped some stuff. But basically, we came to this guy's house. I think he said that he would throw me off a cliff, but I could be coming up. So sorry, spoiler, not spoiler. And I'm gonna hit auto because it's easier to read with the story. That way I'm not clicking through too fast. So without further ado, here we go again during this cursed playthrough. So let's go. Sorry, I'm not too knowledgeable about that.
ちょっと話にならん
What a wasted
おと
what
な
a
しく
wasted
何十
time.
万
I
高の
recommend
勉強料
spending
を払
however
って
many
拾ってもらう
thousands
のをお
you
す
need
す
to
め
have a
しよう
repairman come pick you up. I had no retort to that.
あ
Oh, but Masato-san, I don't think we can
多
have
分
any
です
more
け
outsiders
ど今
come
の
here
時
right
期
now.
これ以上よその車がここに入るとか良くないんじゃないです
は
Huh?
君は
Haven't you
間
been to a
違いだろ
proper
う
city?
未だ
Don't
に
tell me
そ
you
んなもの
still
信
believe
じて
that
るのかね
nonsense.
う
I'd be fine
私は
with it,
と
but
も
I
か
doubt the elders
じい
would
さま
be.
ばあさま
We've
方が
had too many visitors these past
ここ
few
数
days.
日やたら外来者多いですし
休
I
みの連
don't
中の
care
事
what
情
you
は知ら
guys
んよ
and you peasants think.
私にどう
What do
し
you
よう
expect me to do anyway? Fix the tires
油まみ
myself
れに
and
なっ
get
てパンク
oil
修
all
理し
over
ろ
me?
と
いや
Oh,
そ
I
こまで
never
なくても
suggest that.
藤吉
I
の
just
長者
think
と
that
して
the
困って
Fujiyoshi
る丸を
village
助
should
ける
help
の
a
に
troubled
力添えを
visitor.
いただけないかと
How
困
about
った時だけ
instead
長
of
者を
relying
頼るの
on
ではな
me,
く
the only
休み
when
冬
it's
のもてなしで
convenient,
もしたらど
you
う
just
か
give
な
him a traditional Yazimizi
崖から
welcome.
突き落とす
You
んだ
know,
ったか
throw him off the cliff. Whoa, what the
いや
hell?
そんな言っちゃ
Come
ダメです
on,
よ
you can't say that. Chiemi's tone was slightly off. I could feel a bit of irritation behind her words.
本当
I know it
お
might
恥
be a
ずかしい
bother,
限りなん
but
です
can you
が
at least lend me the
なんとか
tools?
してみるんで道具だけ貸してもらえませんか
なんだと
What?
道具やらキットやら
I'll just
仮に入るだけ
borrow
で
them. You won't hear me
作業
or
は
see
別
me
の
work.
ところで
I
し
can
ます
even
から
pay.
もちろんお代は払います
まあ
Well,
構わ
I
んか
don't
ね
mind that much, but I
下
want
手に物を破
compensation
損
for
させたり
anything
したら
you
弁
break.
償しても
Student
ら
or
うぞ
not,
学生だ
I'll
か
have
知
you
らん
at
が
the
きっ
problem.
ちりしてもらう
Then he pointed me to the garage and I walked back to the mountain.
いや
Man,
ーな
I
んとか
thought we
なら
were
ない気がしてき
screwed
た
there. What the hell's
チュ
a
ーブがバースト
burst
ってなん
tube?
だろ
春明さんかっこ
Wow,
悪い
that's so lame.
うバイク乗
What,
り
you
なら
think
ス
every
パナ
biker
一
can
本
fix
で
the
何
bike
でも
just
修
by
理して
bashing
み
it
せ
with
ろ
a wrench or something?
まあわかり
I
ま
don't
せん
know,
けど
but I hear a lot
なん
of
かそう
girls
いう
who
メ
are
カに
guys
強い感じ
with the
出したらグ
guys
ッと
with
くる
good-
女は多いの
guys who
で
were good with cars and stuff.
じゃあ
you know,
野里氏には
mechanics.
グッときたと
Oh, so you're into
いや
Nosato?
どうせ知ったかぶりだから
Like he's smart.
あの
He's
人多
probably
分
never
自分じゃ
repaired anything
整
in his
備もで
life.
きないよ
The guy's not nearly as
筋金入りの
experienced
占い
as
病
you
だっ
have
た
you
し
think.
え
Huh?
じゃあなぜバイクの整備
Then
用品
why
なん
does he
て
have bike repair stuff?
野里屋敷は上富士吉にある野里家のもっと大きいお屋敷からいらないものを運んで置いとく
Their
よう
main
な場所
mansion
ら
is
し
in
くてね
Kamifujiyoshi, Howard. Whatever they don't need there, they send over here.
56年前に
I
清
think
之助さんが
that
単車買ってもらったけ
Kinosuke-san
ど
was given a car 5 or
ろくに
6
乗りこなせなくてお蔵入りにしたとか聞いたことある
So it's just been gathering dust ever since. Damn, that was the countryside for you. Couldn't hide your shame for your life depended on it. If your life depended on it. Anyway, no, I now knew the man was a condescending, pretentious type. He still helped me out though, and it was true I didn't know much about bike repair, so I couldn't really get mad.
さそうと決まれ
Anyway,
ば
let's
使え
just
そうな
take
ものは
everything
全部
that
持ち
looks
出して
like
や
it
ろう
could
ぜ
be useful.
さながら山賊のごと
Like
く
bandits, huh?
乗った
I'm in.
私邪魔じゃない
Sure
か
I'm
な
not bothering you?
いや適当に
I feel
話してな
down
いと
that
気が
anyone
めい
to
るん
talk
で
to. Just
相
keep
づ
that
ち打
with
っ
me.
てくれ
It
るだけ
helps.
でも助かる
The instructions that came with the repair kit told me my bike's tires were a rather difficult type to repair. Apparently I had to remove the tires, but where did I even start with that? Well, as long as I didn't break it, nothing could be worse than having to call road service down here, so I just tried taking it apart. But as I removed whatever nuts I could, I made the situation even worse than it was. Yeah, this really wasn't a job for an amateur.
お兄さん大
You
変
seem
そ
to
う
be
ね
having a rough time. You can
全
eat
然
this
も
too,
よかったら食べ
Chiemi-chan.
てね
ありがとうござい
Thank you.
ます
なんか大元に
Well,
なってん
this
な
looks serious.
機械
Man,
っつうの
machines are
はや
no
っぱダメだ
good.
な
まあ
Hey,
怖
the
い話
benefit
な
of
きゃ
culture as
文
long
明の利器
as
は
they
便
don't
利だけ
break.
どね
Munch, munch, munch.
日暮れまで
Thinking of
治
fixing
りそう
for
かい
sundown.
うん
That might be
Mhm.
hard. Don't worry though. Worst comes
最
to
悪
worst,
なん
I'll
とか
do
するから安
something.
心して
Munch, munch, munch,
わちゃん
munch, munch, munch. I really appreciate how she handled the visitors in my stead.
なあ、知恵ね。
Hey,
バイクっ
Chiemi.
て免許
Is it
簡単に
hard
取
to
れ
get
ん
a
の？
bike license?
どうだ
I
ろう
don't know. Let's
Good
scooter
car,
license are
sometimes.
easy. I have one myself.
Okay.
Munch, 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 munch.
中型大型
Mid-size
の二
bike
輪は結
license
構
are
めんど
pretty
いよ
hard to get.
普
You
通
need
免
to
許
take a
取るの
course
と
just
同
like
じ
with
学科講
cars.
習もあ
You
る
like
し
bikes?
バイク好きなのかい？
The
関
hell?
係ねえ
What's
だ
it
ろ
matter to you?
ちなみにそれ
How
い
much
くら
I
すん
like
だ
that
よ
anyway?
これは新車で
800,000
80万くらいか
yen.
な。
Brand new.
たっけ
Holy shit, what the hell? That's way too high. You an idiot or what? How'd you even get that
え
much?
まあバイトとか頑張
part-time
ったから
jobs and all that?
そんな新車が
And
事
you
故っ
got
て
into
なん
an
て
accident. Poor Haruaki-san. Munch, 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 munch.
ちえみ先生
Chiemi
さっ
sensei,
き
may
から
I
気
ask
には
what
なって
happened
た
to
んだ
my
けど
share of the food?
差し入れ僕の分は
先生思わず全部食べちゃった
Poor
春秋さ
Haruaki-san.
ん気の毒
She's hiding why she wants us not to eat. I didn't want sympathy from the one responsible. As I told her off for not leaving me any food, I somehow removed the tires. I could only hope I'd be able to fix this up. I'd had this thing for less than a month, but the trouble it was putting me through made it feel somewhat dear to me. I wanted to fire it up again and make it go as fast as I could. Suddenly, I heard an engine. It felt like it was mocking me. Hold on, an engine? Here? I stopped work and I turned around to see the unfamiliar van driving to the plaza. Bearing the classic-looking piece of junk in Nesato's garage, this was the first time I'd seen a car here. As far as I knew, no one living here actually owned or running cars, so...
さっき言った記者さんた
These
ち
are
だ
the
ね
journalists I told you about. I knew it. Once the van stopped, the lady stepped out of it.
こんにちは
Hello! Oh, she's
ど
pretty.
うも
Hello!
今日もご迷惑をおかけします
I'll be bothering you again today.
これまで見ないお方も
You're a new face.
どうも
Hello, my name is
Haruaki
Haruaki Backcrash.
そこまで自
Don't
虐
be
的に
so
なんな
hard
く
on
ても
yourself. Oh? Crap. This was no time for an inside joke. I quickly introduced myself properly.
ちょっとその
I
辺で事
crashed
故
not
り
too
ました
far
ね
away, so I'm stuck here for
こ
the
こ
time
に寄せて
being.
もらってます
なるほど
I
学
see.
生さん
So
ね
you're a student?
事故は
Sorry
災難
about
だ
the
からね
trouble you're going through. Oh,
ちなみに
this
私は
is
こう
me.
いうものです
The woman gave me her business card. Hisako Mamiya, a freelance writer. Her pen name was
ちな
Kyoko
みに
Hisoshi.
読んだことない
Have you ever read
高所9個の
Kyoko
記事
Hosei's articles?
すみません
Sorry.
だよね
Figured.
まだまだ
I'm
マ
not
イ
a
ナー
big
だし
teen yet.
そも
The
そも
magazines that
記事
do
なん
get
か雑
printed
誌
are in
自分
market
向け
for
たし見上げてた
housewives
し
and the elderly.
それは難易度高いな
That's some pretty
ちな
intense
みに
competition.
何を書
What
い
do
て
you
おられる
write
んです
anyway?
フードレビュー
Food reviews. I specialize in
あれです
unusual
か
dishes.
世界で
Like
一
the
番臭い
foulest
缶詰と
smelling
か
canned food in the world or
そういう
something?
そうそう
Yep. Well, your
シュー
usual
なんて
brand
今
of
更ネタ
weirdness
になんな
doesn't
いから
attract much attention
国内に
these
絞って
days.
マイ
So
ナ
I'm
ーな
looking
珍味
for
を
a
探し
minor
歩いてる
culinary oddities local to Japan.
そんなわけで
Anyway,
料理
if you
に
know
変わ
any
った料
weird
理があ
dishes
ると
from your
か情報
hometown,
があった
do
ら
tell
ぜ
me.
ひちょうだい
I travel the
日
length
本
of
全国
Japan to give it
ど
a
こでも行く
try.
から
A student from the
ラボの
lab
後
I
輩が
frequented
キャンパス
once
内で
made
取った
pork
キノ
miso
コで
soup
豚
with a
汁
mushroom
作
he
った
found
ら
on campus.
集団
We
幻
had
覚が起きま
mass
して
hallucinations and
思いつきと毒
no
物は却下
flashes of brilliance or poisons, please. As we chatted, I became curious.
そういえば
By the way,
取
weren't
材
there
の方
two
は
of
お
you?
二人とか
Yes,
もう一
I'm
人いる
here
わ
with a partner.
ちょっと
He
降り
just
て
needs
くる
some
のに
time
時
to.
間が
Oh, there he is. I looked at the van and became completely awestruck. It felt like the van had shed its skin or something. That made no sense, but seriously, how did this fit in there? He's an asshole. He's just big. He's gargantuan. Takumi said something about this man was a never level of foreign heavyweight wrestler. Though unlike Takumi saying this man was primarily fat rather than muscle. As he walked out of the driver's seat, the van shook wildly.
写真家の橋
Yu
本雄大さんよ。
Hashimoto, a
こちら
photographer.
は
He's way
私
more
よりもっ
famous
と
than
ずっ
me.
と有名。オールラウンド
He
で
works
戦
in
った
all
達人で
sorts of
写真
fields.
はきっと
I imagine you've
気づかな
seen
いうち
some of
に
his
ランナー
photos
が
without
目にして
even
ますよ。
knowing it. I didn't know much about photography, but I was definitely convinced. There was a certain kind of authority or gravity around him. He wasn't saying a word and I couldn't tell what he was thinking.
どうもはじめまして。
Nice to meet you.
久
I'm
石
Haruaki
春明です
Fusashi. Was he even alive?
どうも
Hello. After a strange pause, he slowly bowed like a moving mountain he was and greeted me with a voice like a titan. He seemed somewhat difficult to interact with.
今日で最終日でしたっけ？
This is your last day here, isn't it?
ええ。
Yes.
オリベさんが
Orimi-san
今日
said
の
he,
シシナ
she'd
レを
let
当
me
ててく
try
だ
her
さるってこと
prize.
なので、
Shishi
よその
Nade.
人に耐え
I
ら
don't
れるか
even know if an
な。
outsider can handle it.
まあ
I have my
胃薬
stomach
も持ってきて
medicine.
るから
I'm sure I'll
大
be
丈夫でしょ。
fine. And so, Mamiyashi and Hasamoto-shi walked off to the dining hall. Who would have thought that such a beauty was a delicacy hunter? I had to admit, that gap was kinda charming. As intrigued as I was, I couldn't waste any more time. I had to fix my bike already. Whoa. A lot of things had surprised me here in Yasumizu, but nothing as much as this.
もしもし
Hello? No reaction. At first glance, he looked like a poor man too senile to think or perceive properly.
何か
You need
ご用です
something
か
from me? I made sure to speak as clearly as possible. It didn't look like he understood. I figured it was my best just to ignore him and resume the repairs, but... Coming. I looked at him again. He was still just standing there like his soul and brain had left his body. A vacant stare, yellow eyes, half-open mouth covered in saliva. Coming. He spoke again.
何が
What's
来るんです？
coming? The what? His voice was too hoarse to make out.
何ですって
Come again? I placed my hand against my ear. He finally understood what I wanted and prepared to whisper something. I brought my ear closer and... The wolf is coming! The sudden shout caught me completely off guard and made me fall onto the ground, He looked down at me, laughing. He clapped and opened his half-toothed smile in a wide smile. Half-toothed mouth. The wolf is coming! The wolf is coming! He bent his body in a weird way, laughing like he was convulsing, turned around, and just laughed.
春明さん、
Haruaki-san! Oh, I'm too late. Chiemi had joined the journalists and only just come back.
何が遅かった
Late
と
for what?
おじいちゃん。知ら
Parents
ない
over
人
there
には
loves
ああや
messing
ってい
around
た
with
ずらする
strangers
んだよ
like。that.
え
Wait,
あれ
that's your
ちえみちゃん
grandpa?
の
いやいや、
No, no, no,
本
no,
名
no.
は知らないん
I
だ。
don't even know his name.
昔
He's
から
been
休みずに
music
いるおじい
forever
ちゃんだ
and
けど、
he's always like
昔からあ
that.
んな感じ。
ボケてる
It felt less
という
like he was
か
just messing around
ちょっ
and
と
more
お
like
かしい
he's
の
a
か
bit
あの人
touched.
うん。みんな、狼じじい
Everyone
っ
calls
て呼ん
him
でるけ
Old
ど
Man
ね。
Who Cried Wolf. Named after the boy who cried wolf, I assume? Doesn't work as well, though.
狼
Wolves, huh? As far as I knew, there were no wild wolves in Japan. There used to be, but after the last sighting in either the Meiji or Showa era, they have been considered extinct here. Modern Japan's images of wolves come from the Western fairy tales, the like. It wasn't linked to anything in our culture or life. Even the boy who cried wolf was a Western tale. Did his brand of insanity make him repeat the tale or something? A bit weirded out by the circumstances, I went back to repairing my bike. After After a bit more time, I somehow took off the rubber from the tires and removed the tubes. Both the tires were pierced by some really rusty nails. Fuck, this kind of stuff only happened in the worst of times. Then I applied the patches and filled them with the air using a manual pump. I wet the tubes. There were no bubbles, meaning no air was leaving them. Things were looking good. After the high schoolers came back from school and passed by, no one else stopped to talk. Chiemi was looking a bit bored now.
なんとかなりそうか
I
も。
think I got it.
嘘
Seriously?
あんなにダメっぽかった
But
の
it all seems so hopeless.
悪かったね。
Well, sorry.
まあ
Though I
こ
still
れを
need to
組み立て
rebuild
直す
this.
って大
That's
仕
gonna
事
be
が
a
残
lot
っ
of
てるけ
work.
ど。
それが終わったら
And you'll
出発
be
で
able
き
to
そう
leave then?
そうだね。
Yeah, believe me.
長居すると
I
ま
know I
ずそうな
shouldn't
の
stay
は
here
よ
long.
くわかっ
I
たし
can。take the hint.
そうよか
That's
った
great. She didn't seem to care that much. Guess I had no chance with her, huh?
もう何時間も缶を詰めっ
You've
ぱ
been
な
out
しで
this
しょ
for hours.
大
How
丈
are you
夫
holding up?
疲
Need
れ
a
てない
break?
昼食休憩の
Well,
機
I'd
会
be
が
better
誰か
if
さん
a
に
certain
奪われ
someone
たこ
didn't
と
take
もあって
away my
ね。
lunch break.
代わりにクラッ
Hey,
カーを
I
あ
gave
げ
you
たじゃ
some
ない
crackers,
です
didn't
か
I? Like that was enough to satiate a guy in his mid-20s.
まあ僕は
Still,
大丈夫。
I'm pretty fine if
も
I
う
push
一頑張
forward
り
a
する。
bit more. You can go if
君
you
も
want.
もう行っ
I've
てい
been
いよ。
introduced to just about
大体の
everyone
人と
here.
は顔合わせしたような気がするし。
多分あと2
There's
人会って
two
ない人
people
が
you
いるか
haven't
な
met yet. Really? Well, there was no real need to, right?
もうちょっといるよ
I'll stay around a
どう
bit
せ暇
longer.
だから帰ってきた
I
わ
came
けだ
back
し
here because I was
するこ
bored.
ともないし
It's not like I'm busy.
52人の男
Couldn't you
友
play
達
around
と
with your
遊ぶ選
52
択肢は
guy
なかったの？
全言撤
I
回
take it back. I
暇したいか
came
ら
because
帰
I
って
wanted to
き
be bored.
た街暮
Living
ら
in
し
the
は
city
面
is
倒
so
も多く
annoying
て
and tiring,
52
especially
人
with
からメール攻
52
めと
guys
かさ
texting you all the time.
そっか。
Oh,
ごめん52
sorry.
人
I lied about the 52 guys.
なんでそんな嘘を
Why?
春明さんに
Because I
対
wanted
す
to
る
keep you in
牽
check, I
制
guess. Why would she pull a tactic like that only to reveal her hand?
ねえ
Hey,
彼女に振られたっ
Did you
て
really
本
get
当
dumped by your girlfriend? And now she asked me that.
本当だって
I did. Honest.
そっか
I see. Well, after the relentless assault, it wouldn't be fair unless I played
な
my
んな
own
らこれ
card.
持ってい
Wanna
く？
come with?
これって2
Is
人
it
乗
a
りなんだ
two-seater?
もちろん。
Yeah.
一応
There's even an
タンデ
extra
ム用の
helmet.
ヘルメットも
It's
吊
not
るして
dry
きて
yet,
るし
though.
まだ乾いてないけど僕はこのまま
I'm
ここを出てい
obviously
くから
leaving soon, so
そ
unless
の
you
便
have
で
something
ちえみ
planned,
ちゃ
you
んも
can
外
join
に
me.
出るのが都合良ければってことになるけどついでに
We
ロ
can
ング
even
ツ
go
ーリン
on
グ
a
してみ
bike
る
tour if you have enough
時間
time.
さえあれ
I
ば
can take you
どこへだ
anywhere.
って行くよ
Flexible, open to fine tuning, wild and charming. This was a good date invitation if I say so myself.
いいね素敵
That sounds
都
great.
合
I have no
問題な
plans.
いよ
Oh,
じゃあ荷物
I'll
ま
go
と
get
め
my
てくる
stuff
ね
then. Chiemi smiled and turned around to head to her place. She then looked back at me and,
急いだ方がいいよ
you should hurry before I change
ち
my
えみさん
mind.
の気が変わらないうちにね
はいはい
Yeah,
もちろん
sure. Well, that made me even more motivated. This was one tiring trip, but at least I met someone good along the way. I just forget everything I didn't want to remember while on the road with her. I could only hope that clever girl and I would eventually grow closer. With that ulterior motive in mind, I resembled building the back. After several failed attempts, I was finally making some good progress putting the back back together. Afternoon had passed and it was almost evening. At the rate I was going, I would definitely be working while it was dark. Would that even be possible? It might be way past midnight by the time I was done. Chiemi might dump me for that. Man, life sure was hard. The plaza I'd worked in was now totally empty. There was no one around me. All I could hear was the wind, the frogs, the tools in my hands. It was desolate, to say the least. I suddenly felt really weak. It made me keenly aware of being in a place I didn't belong to, and that I was preparing to escape. It was an oppressive atmosphere, like the bars of a cage were slowly swinging shut. What's this, Harayaki? Think you're gonna get attacked or something? I tried to laugh it off, but it didn't work as I became more conscious of my surroundings. I began to hear things I hadn't noticed before. I heard a voice. But what voice? Who's calling out to me? Is it a ghost? Is it a wolf? Who's to say? I guess we'll figure out next time. Oh my god, it's an ending. So, yeah, this is fun. Even coming back to it after losing my recordings from yesterday, I forgot how fun it was. It was a very fun conversation, and we'll figure out what happens next time. So I will see you then. Bye!